My world crumbled the day Liam left. It was a Tuesday. The sky was a dull, uncaring gray, much like the feeling that settled deep within my chest. He said we needed different things. His words were soft, but they landed like heavy stones. I remember nodding, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. The door clicked shut behind him. That sound echoed in the silence of our apartment for days, weeks. It became the soundtrack to my tears. I walked through rooms that were once filled with his laughter, now just hollow spaces filled with ghosts of memories we made. Our future, once a bright, shining picture, had shattered into a million tiny pieces. Sleep became a stranger to me. When it did come, it brought dreams of him, of us, of everything we had lost. I would wake up with a wet pillow and an ache in my heart so profound it felt physical. Food tasted like ash. Colors seemed muted. My favorite songs, the ones we used to sing along to in the car, now only brought fresh waves of sorrow. Every corner of our home, every street we walked, every cafe we visited, held a memory of Liam. It was a constant, painful reminder of the love that was no longer mine. I felt like a ship lost at sea with no anchor and no shore in sight, just drifting in an ocean of sadness. My friends tried their best to cheer me up. They called, they visited, they brought takeout and silly movies. I appreciated their efforts, I truly did. But the darkness clung to me like a second skin. It was a heavy cloak I couldn't shed. I would smile, I would nod, but inside the emptiness yawned wider. How could they understand the depth of my loss? Liam wasn't just a boyfriend. He was my best friend, my confidant, my other half. Losing him felt like losing a part of myself, a vital organ I couldn't live without. The future stretched before me, a bleak and empty landscape. I replayed our last conversations over and over in my mind. Where did we go wrong? Was there something I could have said? Something I could have done differently? These questions haunted my waking hours and my restless nights. The pain was a constant companion, a dull throb that never truly went away. I missed his smile, the way he used to hum off-key while making coffee, the warmth of his hand in mine. It was the little things, the everyday moments that cut the deepest. My heart felt like a fragile glass, broken beyond repair, each shard a testament to the love I still held for him. One afternoon, my dearest friend Sarah came over. She found me wrapped in a blanket on the sofa, staring blankly at the television. The remnants of another sleepless night were etched on my face. Sarah had always been the practical one, but she also had an open mind, a belief in things beyond the scene. She sat beside me, her presence a small comfort in the vastness of my grief. She listened patiently as I poured out my sorrow, the same stories of heartbreak she had heard before, yet she never once made me feel like a burden. She just listened, her eyes filled with genuine concern and a deep understanding. After I had exhausted my tears for the moment, Sarah took a deep breath. "I know this might sound a bit unconventional," she began carefully, "but I heard about someone. A man named Dr. Skull." I must have looked at her with utter confusion. She explained that a colleague of hers had been in a similar situation, heartbroken and desperate. This colleague had found Dr. Skull's website, and according to her, he specialized in helping people mend broken hearts and reunite lost loves. Sarah spoke of something called the Zarathustra spell, a particular enchantment known for its powerful effectiveness in matters of the heart. My initial reaction was skepticism naturally. Spells? Magic? It sounded like something out of a fairy tale, not a solution for real-life heartbreak. I had always considered myself a rational person, but then I looked around my silent apartment, at the empty space beside me on the sofa, and the sheer weight of my despair pressed down on me again. What did I have to lose? I had tried everything else, talking, crying, hoping, waiting. Nothing had eased the ache or brought Liam back. The thought of living the rest of my life without him was unbearable, a future too bleak to contemplate. Sarah, sensing my hesitation, didn't push. She simply wrote down the website address on a piece of paper and placed it on the coffee table. "Just take a look," she said softly. "No pressure." But sometimes hope can be found in the most unexpected places. That night, long after Sarah had left, my eyes kept drifting to that slip of paper. The name Dr. Skull and Zarathustra spell echoed in my mind. A tiny flicker of something, not quite hope, but perhaps curiosity, or maybe just sheer desperation, began to stir within the depths of my sorrow. It was a whisper of possibility in a world that had become utterly silent. With trembling fingers, I finally typed the web address into my laptop. The screen illuminated, and Dr. Skull's website appeared. It wasn't what I expected. There were no flashing lights or spooky graphics. Instead, it was a calm, professional-looking site, filled with testimonials from people who claimed their lives had been changed, their loves restored. Their stories were filled with emotion, with pain much like my own, and then, with overwhelming joy and gratitude. I read story after story, each one resonating with my own deep longing for Liam, for the happiness we once shared. It felt less like a mystical portal, and more like a place of understanding. I found the section describing the various spells and services offered. My eyes scanned the page, searching for the one Sarah had mentioned. There it was. The Zaranthuza spell, for rekindling lost love and deepening connection. The description spoke of ancient energies, of aligning hearts, of removing obstacles that kept true loves apart. It didn't promise instant miracles but talked about a gentle, powerful shift in energies. It spoke of creating an irresistible pull, a renewed sense of longing and affection in the heart of the lost partner. The words were simple, yet they carried a weight of promise that I found myself clinging to. The process of requesting the Zaranthuza spell was straightforward. There were clear instructions, a simple form to fill out with our names, birth dates, and a brief description of our situation. I hesitated for a long moment, my cursor hovering over the submit button. Was I really doing this? Was I placing my fragile hopes in the hands of a spellcaster I found on the internet? But then, I thought of Liam's smile, the warmth of his hand, the future I still desperately wanted with him. The alternative, a life filled with this aching emptiness, was simply not an option I could bear any longer. Taking a deep breath, I filled out the information, pouring my heart into the description of our love and our painful separation. With a final surge of courage, born more from desperation than true belief at that point, I submitted the request. A sense of strange calm washed over me. It wasn't a guarantee, I knew that. But for the first time in weeks, a tiny seed of genuine hope had been planted in the barren soil of my heart. I had taken a step, a leap of faith into the unknown, guided by a friend's suggestion and the desperate wish to reclaim the love I had lost. A few days passed. I tried not to obsess, not to count the minutes. I focused on small tasks, trying to bring some semblance of normalcy back into my life, though the undercurrent of anticipation was always there. Then, one evening, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. My heart leaped, but it wasn't Liam. The days turned into a week. The small seed of hope began to waver slightly. I reminded myself of what Dr. Skull's website said about gentle shifts, not instant lightning bolts. I tried to be patient, to trust in the process I had initiated, to believe in the power of the Zaranthuza spell. Then, on a Saturday morning, exactly 10 days after I had reached out to Dr. Skull, I heard a soft knock on my door. My heart pounded in my chest. I peeked through the peephole, and there he was, Liam. He looked hesitant, a little unsure, but it was him. He held a small bouquet of my favorite flowers, sunflowers. My hand trembled as I opened the door. He looked at me, his eyes filled with an emotion I hadn't seen in so long, a deep, tender affection. He said my name, just my name, and it was like music I had forgotten how to hear. He told me he couldn't stop thinking about me. He said leaving was the biggest mistake of his life. He talked about missing everything, the big things and the small, the way I laughed, the way we just understood each other. It was as if a veil had been lifted from his eyes, allowing him to see clearly what we truly had. There were tears, apologies, and then, the sweetest reconciliation. The Zaranthuza spell hadn't just brought him back, it had brought him back with a renewed sense of love and commitment. Our connection felt deeper, stronger than ever before, as if the time apart had only served to show us how much we belonged together. We are now happier than we have ever been. It's not just the love that has returned, it's like a light has been switched on in our lives. Opportunities have opened up for both of us. A sense of abundance and prosperity has followed our reunion. Our home is once again filled with laughter, with plans for the future, with an unshakable love. I often think back to that dark period, and I am so grateful to Sarah for her suggestion and to Dr. Skull for his incredible Zaranthuza spell. It didn't just mend my broken heart, it transformed my life, bringing back my Liam and gifting us a love story more beautiful than I could have ever imagined.